Hi everybody, welcome to Tuesday Talk. And we're going to get right into our topics. I know you guys saw the title, and this is going to be a huge discussion. This morning while I was taking my husband to work, I was listening to Tom Joyner on Hot 105. That's the station that he's on in Florida, and where I live. And they have a segment in the show called Money Mondays, and where they have a woman who is a financial analyst who comes on to discuss different things that are taking place in the financial world. And one topic that that the young lady talked about was minimum wage. And she reported that minimum wage has increased to $15 per hour. And I was just so happy that they're starting to take a stance on this minimum wage situation, because I feel very, very, very strongly about minimum wage. Now, the increase is only taking place in New York City, and it's for fast food workers. And I know a lot of people who have absolutely no clue, what fast food workers have to deal with, what the job actually entails. People make jokes about flipping burgers and stuff like that, and there's so much work that is involved in working at a fast food place. They have no idea. And I just was so happy that this came like 3 years after I left. I was a shift supervisor for a fast food restaurant for 6 years, and I made $9 an hour working for 6 years for a company. Went through all of the training, because the company has a special training program that they have managers go through. Went through all of that training. I had to pass a state test to get a license to even manage a restaurant, and I was still making $9 and some change, not even $10 an hour. That is freaking ridiculous, seeing that I was a loyal employee. And I got into this. Well, I didn't really get into a debate, because I don't like to debate ignorant people, and I'm just not insulting this person, because sometimes some people, they just have their really distorted opinions about something, and instead of them educate themselves, they just prefer to be dumb. And so I just let the person be dumb. I said my piece and I just let it go. And what I'm talking about is that this whole situation, we've talked about this on Facebook a lot with a lot of different folks who have brought it up, because it has been in the news where fast food workers were protesting to get their wages increased. And I completely understand why, because I worked at a fast food place, so I understand the work that it entails. And someone on my Facebook page, someone who really just got their professional credentials literally 5 seconds ago, she's like, oh, I don't feel like they deserve to get that much money. And I'm just like, there are people that are working for fast food places for years and years and years, and they have children that they have to support. Why not pay them $15 an hour? I don't really get why. And I think a lot of people are kind of salty about it, because sometimes, you go to a fast food place and they're not nice, they're rude, they mess up your order, and it's like, there's a big complaint. I know both sides of the argument, because I'll just tell you my little brief history. See, this is something that, a lot of people are completely unaware of, because they go through the natural progression of going to high school, then transitioning to college, graduating, getting a professional degree, and moving on to their profession and making great money. And it's not like that for everybody. I grew up in an upper middle class lifestyle. I started working at 16 years of age. My mom mostly was really like the person who was trying to like push me to work and get a job, and I finally got a job. It took me forever to get hired. I started working for a grocery store at 16, and I literally had to stalk the hiring manager because she just wouldn't pay me any attention. She kept blowing me off and giving me the runaround. And I went to this place, and then I had to deal with my mother nagging me every day. Did you get a job? Did you get a job? Did you get a job? Like, I just walk into a place and get hired. It was so annoying. And she was so annoying. And so what I did was that I was just like, I'm going to make this lady hire me. So I went to this grocery store every single day after school for a month until she freaking hired me. She got tired of looking at my face, and she just hired me. And I went into training and everything, and I thought I was balling outrageous, honey, because I was going from getting 20 bucks here and there from my dad to making $176 a week, honey. I thought I was doing it. And this was like in '96, so just imagine what I was making per hour, and I did that for a little bit, and then once I graduated from high school, I started working for this fast food place, and I was still making like $6 an hour, maybe $5. I don't even remember how much I was making. I probably could look it up on my, because I have all of my stuff, my resumes and stuff, of what I was making. But anyway, yeah, I started a fast food place. I wasn't getting a whole lot of hours to begin with. That's one thing. When you're like a regular employee, you're not guaranteed 40 hours. That's number one. You're not going to get 40 hours because they want to get as many employees working. They want to pay you the least amount of money and have the most workers and pay them the least amount of money, because why would, you know what I'm saying? It's so ridiculous. And then when it comes time for your raise, they give you 10 cents, 5 cents. The most you can get from a raise is 25 cents, and that's literally unheard of. Nobody gets 25 cents. And it was very, very difficult because I was like 18, 19. I was in transition. I was having a hard time living at home because once you become of age, a lot of those ridiculous rules that, you had to abide by, you're kind of like over it. Like, I'm an adult already. Like, I'm not going to be wild and crazy and be disrespectful in your house, but geez, can you ease up a little bit? And it wasn't happening, and I was having my biggest issue at that time was people opening up my mail. I don't give a damn. Like, it's just a respect thing. Like, if you want me to be an adult, you want me to get a job, you want me to act like an adult, but then you keep opening up my damn mail. And so I was just like, I'm trying to move out of here, and talking to me crazy and all kinds of stuff, want to jump on me every time you get mad and all that. And no, I don't have time for that. And if you're African American, you kind of understand how it is to grow up in an African American household, because if you have parents kind of like that. My dad was cool, but my mom was kind of like, I'll knock you out, type of person, like still at 18, 19 years old, and you have respect for your parents, so you don't really want to, go toe to toe with them, but damn, you ain't finna get on me, man. So I was ready to go. I was ready to go because I'm not, we could disagree, but you're not going to keep putting your hands on me. Not going to happen. Mama, no mama. And I'm just being straight up and real about the whole situation. I was trying to get the hell out of Dodge. And it was hard because I was probably working 4 days a week and not making, I was making like $300 every 2 weeks. For 2 weeks of work, I make like $300, a little over $300. And I couldn't get a job to save my life. And then when it came to me going to school, my mom was on the, high school was all about, we did the high school thing. College, you have to fend for yourself. I didn't have a college fund. Nobody saved up any cash for us. didn't get any help. And so when I went to get financial aid, they were like, listen, first of all, your parents made too much money, which both of my parents both worked at the time. And they told me I couldn't get financial aid because my parents made too much money, and nobody was willing to give me any money to go to school. So I was pretty much like asked out, for lack of a better term. I was on my own. And then I was like, well, how do I qualify for financial aid? And they were like, well, you have to be living on your own for a year. And I'm just like, first of all, I'm working minimum wage, fast food job, and my parents won't help me with school, and you want me to get an apartment and live on my own for a year, and I can't even afford to freaking put gas in my car all the time and put clothes on my back. Like, it was ridiculous. And I struggled for a lot of years, and I ended up, having to work security, working overnight, and then after that ended, I started working as a secretary at a homeowners association, and then I started working for this super center, famous super center, and I ended up having to work 2 jobs. I started working at the super center overnight from 11 p.m. to 8 a.m. Then I would go to my fast food job at 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's how I was working for 3 years. I worked, and that's how I was able to get my own apartment. And I just said all that to say, a lot of people turn up their nose and they judge people that work fast food jobs, and you have no idea the struggles that you have to go through, working at some of these places, because the management is horrid. They treat you like garbage, because of whatever issue that they're going on. They treat you like they abuse their power, and that was the biggest issue that I had with a lot of supervisors. They abuse their power. They're very nasty. So on top of all of the back-breaking work that you have to do, you have to put up with abuse, verbal and psychological abuse from the employees, from management, and then on top of that, you have to deal with nasty, disrespectful customers who feel like, since you are a fast food worker, you're an ignorant lowlife, you're ghetto, you grew up ghetto, and you just have no ambition or nothing. And I'm just like, this is a respectable job. I had a guy tell me, now I was a manager at the time, and I was one of those managers who felt like, if I'm good enough to empty the trash and wash dishes just like anybody else. And a lot of my employees, they did respect me for that, because they're just like, Shantika is like the bomb. She'll wash dishes and scrub the floor and help you out and take out the trash. If they're busy, and I see the trash need to be taken out, I'll just go ahead and I'll take it out. No big deal. Take care of the customers, and y'all keep everything on point while I do this. And I had this guy come up to me while he was getting in line, and I thought he was gonna like say hi or something. This guy, he was a construction worker. You could tell he was a construction worker. He came up to me and he was just like, I bet when you were a little girl you never thought that you would grow up to take out trash. And I was just like, first and foremost, honey, I am a college student and I work 2 jobs. I'm doing an honest paying job, so I could be robbing you, I could be out there doing illegal stuff, but I am out here doing an honest paying job. So if you don't have anything nice to say, keep your damn comments to yourself. And I don't see you working no job where you making millions and millions of dollars either, dirty man. I mean, I used to snap on people because I'm just like, you don't know me. You don't know me from a can of paint. You don't come up to me and tell me no kind of crap. I can get in trouble all the time behind my mouth. I don't care. First of all, you're not paying me enough to take nobody's bull crap. You feel what I'm saying? You can say whatever you want to say, but you ain't going to talk to me any kind of way, or just tell me whatever you want to tell me. And I would have really like nice customers as well. I used to love the elderly people that come in because they were lonely, and I like to talk, and so they would always, where's Shanika? They used to call me Shanika. Where's Shanika? And they used to come, I could talk to them and have a good time with them. And I remember I was to this one guy, He wasn't elderly at all, and he made this comment that was just so incredibly insulting, but he was so nice. And he was just like, he said, man, you are just so great to talk to. Like, I can't believe how articulate you are. And I'm looking at this fool like, are you serious? And I'm just like, well, what will make you say such a thing? Yeah, but look at you. You work at a fast food place. And I'm just like, what does that have to do with me being able to articulate a point? It does not. I grew up upper middle class. I've never been in the projects before in my life. Like, I had family members that lived in the projects that I used to visit rarely, you know, but I didn't grow up in the projects. I know about the projects from the rappers, from my friends at school. That's my extent of me knowing about the projects, okay? So, and living in the projects ain't nothing wrong with it. You have to live somewhere. Everybody can't afford, $1,500, $1,600 a month apartment. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes people just, and there's nothing wrong. Nobody's saying there's anything wrong with living in the, but, the way that he was talking to me, he just judged me. He had no clue who I was, that I had parents, you know what I'm saying? Two of them, a mother and a father, And it's just so incredible how people are so judgmental and nasty. And let me tell you something, a lot of people don't know what you have to do working at a fast food place. Like, you're completely understaffed. You do a ton of work, If you are at a good store that, is very, very clean, and, we were like, man, we were like a $10 million store. We made $10 million every year. And so we used to get bonuses and stuff like that, but we weren't just like, those shabby places that, they don't mop the floor, or you come in and their floor is gross, the bathroom's gross. Like, it wasn't like that. Like, we worked really, really, really hard. And when you do all that back-breaking work, you get off of work and your body is completely broken, you're completely sore, you're getting Charlie horse cramps from standing on your feet. And oh, by the way, you don't get a lunch break. When you work in fast food, you are on your feet for your entire shift. You're lucky if you get to go to the bathroom. That's your only break, is to go to the bathroom. Unless you are a minor, now it's a little bit different. They make everybody go on break, a 30-minute break. But when I was working, you didn't go on no lunch break. You didn't have no lunch. You sat there for your entire shift for 6 hours, and you worked. You worked. And it was hard. It was very, very difficult. And there were times where I used to cry because I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to deal with the people, And it's just irritating to me, how people judge. And I just said all that. I know I'll go on a tangent, but I just have to speak up for these fast food workers. I honestly believe there should be no minimum wage. I really do feel like salary should be based on the living, on the cost of living. Because you have people, not everybody is fortunate enough to go to college to get their degree, fortunate enough to get all these different things, and I understand that, you are your own, you have to encourage yourself if you want to be something in life, and I get that. But everybody didn't grow up with that kind of support system. If their mama worked at Wendy's or Burger King or McDonald's all their life, they grew up and they worked at Wendy's, Burger King, and McDonald's all their life. I mean, it's not easy, If it wasn't for me having a great husband that is taking the lead, I would be still working in a fast food place. I got married and became a housewife, and I decided to use my time wisely to go ahead and knock out my degree. I have a year and a half left. And I will never forget the struggle that I went through. And I'll do everything in my power to have my kids not go through what I went through to try to survive. I didn't get any help from anybody. My dad did help me every now and then. He would, help me out, with money and stuff like that if I needed it. But I was pretty much on my own, and it was very, very difficult. So for all the people out there who have this huge problem, with workers making, a certain amount of money, you put yourself in your shoes. If something major were to happen, they got CEOs When the financial crisis hit, you had CEOs, people who have master's degrees and up. I never forget, they had this guy, they highlighted, he had a master's degree, he had a great job. Something happened and his company filed bankruptcy and laid off everybody. He had to work at Starbucks for $10 an hour. This guy has a damn degree, and he was working at Starbucks. His wife had to get food stamps because the Starbucks job barely paid the rent. You know, barely paid the rent. You know, and I'm in a situation, we were in a situation at one point where, you know, you pay the rent and you have like $20 left until your next paycheck. And that's just for gas. You know, I go to the gas station all the time and you see the pumps. Whoever was there before you, and you always see the pumps with $10, $5. People cannot even afford to fill their tank today. You know, and it's ridiculous. You know, I feel like, you know, if you're going to pay somebody, now I do believe if you're going to pay somebody that much money, you need to let them know that they have to operate at a higher standard, you know, and that's just, you know, having better management, you know. It was very hard, very, very difficult, because they don't train people. Like when you go to a store and you see the new girl there and she's stumbling and stuttering and don't know how to ring up your order, it's not her fault. Don't get mad, because a lot of times, more times than I would, you know, like to, it's hard to admit, but it's the truth. They hire people and they throw them to the wolves. They don't train them. They don't teach them how to do nothing. They just throw them to the wolves. And it's very, very difficult when you're dealing with that kind of volume. You know, if you've ever made a sandwich, a fast food sandwich that requires, and it's like the menu is so vast. You have so many sandwiches that you have to know how to make by heart, and there's no guide to help you. You have to know what all these different sandwiches come with. Then you got the people that don't want this, don't want that, add this, add that, this and that, and it's like constant. And you have to be able to keep up. You got to make sandwiches from the front for the front. You got to for the front in the dining room. You got to make sandwiches for the drive-thru. And working in drive-thru is a nightmare if you are slow. You know, people complain, oh, drive-thru is so slow. It is hard. And I've been in situations where, especially at nighttime, you don't have a sandwich. You have two sandwich makers. One that makes sandwiches for the dining room, and one that makes sandwiches for the drive-thru. At nighttime, you're down to one person that's making sandwiches. And so you got people that's ordering 4 number 2s. You got people in the drive-thru ordering 15 cheeseburgers. That's hard. It's stressful. Then you got to make sure the grill man is on damn point. You know, I was constantly yelling, like, make sure we got meat, y'all. Make sure we got french fries, y'all. You know, then you got the jokers out there, oh, I don't want my fries, no salt. I don't want this and that. And then you got to drop new fries, and they got to wait on it. You know, it's very, very, if you don't know, then I'm telling you, if people, they should have, like politicians and people that, like rich people, or just people that turn up their nose, have them work fast food for a day. They would not survive. I guarantee you they would not survive. It's stressful as hell trying to keep up with the pace. It is difficult. And then you have a manager that won't help you now, but they talking trash to you the whole way, screaming and yelling at you to hurry up. That's why when you get your food all thrown together and all messed up, because you're rushing, you know. So I'm glad that they're raising the minimum wage, and you know, kudos to those people that are working those jobs for years and years. I personally couldn't do it. You know, I did it for 6 years, and after, you know, a guy, my last day was when a guy broke in through the drive-thru. I knew he was drunk when he got to the speaker, you know, and I wouldn't answer him, and he literally pried open the drive-thru window and tried to climb in. I had to run all of us, my employees, which are all female, at nighttime, 1 a.m. in the morning. We all had to run in the freezer, okay, and hide and set off the silent alarm and wait for the police. He could have killed us. And They don't pay you enough for that nonsense. So anyway, kudos to those who work fast food, and for those who don't know anything about it, please be a little bit nicer when you go to the drive-thru, because these people are stressed out, they're overworked, and they're underpaid. Anyway, I'm done with that. I'm sorry, y'all. You know, I feel real passionate about fast food workers because I did it for so long, so I had to talk about that. But anyway, next topic we're gonna talk about is taking our kids back from social media. Now, I want to talk about this young lady. Now, I'm not going to bash her because a lot of what she's going through is really not her fault. She is the product of not having any parents, you know, and she does have parents, but they are not into raising their kids. They're all about themselves. Who am I talking about, you say? I am talking about Miss Kylie Jenner. Yes, the daughter of Kris Jenner and Bruce Jenner. I don't care what you want to call this stuff now, but as far as I'm concerned, his name is Bruce. And so, his mama called him Bruce, I'm going to call him Bruce. And those are her parents. And Kylie Jenner, as we have seen, has been in the news lately because she has completely altered her appearance. In my opinion, I feel like she did it to look more like her sisters, her stepsisters, which are the Kardashian clan, and she has underwent some cosmetic procedures at a very young age, and we all seen this child grow up and see how small her lips are, and of course it was like a drastic change when she just popped on the scene with these big old bubble lips, and you're like, well, what the hell? And she's sitting up here treating the whole world like boo-boo the damn fool, trying to convince all of us that her lips are natural. Sit down, have several seats. Who do you think you fooling? Stop playing. Like, for real. You know what I'm saying? Those lips are not natural. They were surgically enhanced. And so, it's so sad. It's so sad. And then, of course, once she pumps up her lips, puts on all this makeup, and she thinks she looks good, I feel like she looks like a freak, you know, because she has these huge lips. She wears all this horrible makeup, like ridiculous amounts of makeup for somebody so young, you know, to wear all that damn makeup on her face. She looks old. At 17, she looks so old. And she looks like a brat doll. Them damn baby dolls. I hate those dolls. When I used to work at the Super Center, and we used to have to, when I first saw those dolls when they first came in, I immediately hated the Bratz doll because, first of all, they're like they look like porn stars. Like, ew, I don't like those dolls. Like, their lips were big, they had on all this makeup, and I was like, I would never let my child play with something like that. Anyway, moving on. And so since Kylie has now done her little surgery and got her lips pumped up and all this stuff, excuse me, sorry. Now you have a wave of teenagers and young people who are trying to get her lips the same way, calling it the Kylie Jenner effect, in which they use, let me get this right, the suction off of shot glasses, bottles. Somebody even had the dumb idea to use a vacuum cleaner, and they use a suction to pump up their lips. And what has happened is these kids are now faced with deforming themselves, and some of them have even gotten seriously injured by trying to do that. And I am just like, where are the parents of these kids? Like, how? I don't really understand. You know, I don't want my child to live in a bubble, but I feel like parents nowadays just let their kids do whatever the hell that they want to do. They let them watch what they want to watch. They let them just be on all the different social medias, and it's just getting out of control. All of these reality stars, reality people are literally influencing these kids to do things that they really shouldn't be doing, and they end up hurting themselves. You don't have Kylie Jenner kind of money where if you screw up yourself, you can just go and get it fixed. You know, you screw up yourself, you walking around looking crazy forever. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like we need to take back our kids, man. We need to start monitoring what they're watching, who they're idolizing, and just really, really talk to them and instill in them that you are beautiful just the way that you are. You don't need to be surgically enhanced in any way. You're going to regret it. People who are surgically enhanced, you're going to get old one day. And all that surgery is you're gonna look horrible. When that stuff gets old and starts sagging and it starts looking different, you're going to look crazy, you know? And I had to do a little bit of research, just a little tiny bit, and I was on this website, and according to the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, 50% of teenagers ages 13 to 19 in 2013 have had cosmetic procedures such as ears, pinning back the ears to reduce the, you know, Sharon has one of them big Dumbo ears where they get their ears pinned back or they get them reduced in some way so that they won't look crazy. They get rhinoplasties, which is a really big famous procedure, which is just simply means a nose job. And then you have breast augmentation. And just recently, everybody's been obsessed with having a big behind because they want to be like, what's that child's name? Kim Kardashian. And I'm just like, you're pretty much defaming God's creation. You know, like why? To look like these damn people? Who are they? They don't even know you. You know, you're idolizing complete strangers. You're idolizing people that just have nothing to offer to society other than superficiality. And I blame the parents. I blame them. I really blame them because your child should idolize y'all. You and your husband, you and your spouse. That's who your kids should idolize, not these fools on TV, them brats on TV who, you know, making all this money. They have nothing else to buy. There's no more purses. There's no more shoes. There's no more money. There's no more handbags and all that. So what else can they spend their money on? Doing crap to themselves, experimentation on themselves. And then kids look at that and they're like, oh, wow, I want a big booty because look at all the guys, they pay attention to girls with big butts. I want big breasts because guys that pay attention, all this attention, everybody wants attention. And it's just so ridiculous. And I think we as parents really need to start teaching our kids about self-worth and really teaching them about self-esteem. You know, I know as a kid I had one of my biggest issues with my parents was name calling. Even when you did something wrong, you know, you were called stupid, dumb, ignorant, bitch, whatever. And it's just, that's one thing that I wanted to completely eliminate out of my vocabulary when referring to my children. I don't want them to ever feel, even if they did something wrong, I don't want them to ever feel less than, so that they can go out there and be idolizing these folks that probably won't even give them a damn autograph if they ask. You know what I'm saying? Because they're so high up on their horse. Don't do nothing for the community. Don't do nothing for nobody. All they do is flaunt themselves around, you know? And people just idolize them, you know? And we have like no real role models nowadays because everybody's doing this and doing that, getting in trouble, you know? And it's just like, people are all out for themselves. Before, you used to have celebrities who would do a lot of charity work and try to, you know, do things for the kids and things for the community. And it's like now all everybody's worried about is their next Instagram post, their next tweet, you know, who's arguing back and forth on Twitter, you know, what this person did on Facebook, you know, and it's just so ridiculous. And that's why I'm making a rule in my house, no social media of any kind, none whatsoever. Now, you can look at YouTube within reason, but no child of mine is going to be allowed to have a Facebook page or a Twitter account or any of that stuff. It'll probably be something else in the next 15 years, I'm sure. But I'm not going to allow, them to be on that, because it's such a distraction from where they need to be in life. Such a huge, distraction. And I think we should get back to the olden days. Like, I don't care. I'm going to be inspect the damn gadget when it comes to my kids. I'm looking through book bags. I'm looking through cell phones. I'm going through cell phone records. I'm going to pop up at the school. Stay in their face constantly. Just stay in their face constantly. Let them know that you're there for them. You don't have to go out there and idolize these losers, because that's what they are. They're all losers. They have nothing to offer society, but they're behind. That's it. That's all you got to offer is some titties and some booty. That's it. Completely brain dead. And so I just said all that to say, we really need to take a stance. Those new parents out there, parents of small children, you really need to instill in them self-worth and just let them know that these images that they see on TV, even though it's considered reality, it's really not. It's play, it's not real. You know what I'm saying? Let them know that, so that they don't think that they can go out there and do the same crap and get the same results. Because you pump your lips all you want to, you're going to look like an old freak, people going to look at you crazy, and you're going to ruin your life. So I encourage all of you guys to step it up and be in your kids' faces. Teach them to love themselves the way that they are. There's no such thing as perfection, and teach them how to be an individual. Nobody teaches individualism anymore. I don't even know if that's a word, but hopefully it is. You know what I mean. Nobody teaches folks to be individuals. Everybody's trying to be like this one, that one, and the next one, and it's just sad. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Tuesday Talk. Leave your thoughts down below. Let's open the discussion. And I hope to see you guys next week for another Tuesday Talk. Talk to you guys later. Bye.